Thank you so much. Right. I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is WilliamS. I am currently living in South Africa. However, I um, I was born in Namibia. I grew up in Namibia, and just to give a little bit of information about Namibia. Namibia used to be a country that was colonized by Germany. And there's a lot of German influence in Namibia. And after Germany lost the First World War, Germany could not carry on being the superpower in Namibia. They had to succeed power to South Africa. So South Africa took over administration of Namibia, and it became a province of South Africa. And when I was born, Namibia was going through the phase of wanting to be an independent country. And from 1980, when I was born, to 1990, there was fighting between the indigenous people of Namibia, fighting to be a sovereign nation, right? And so Namibia became independent in 1990 from South Africa. So that's just a little bit of history of Namibia, where I live. And I'd also like to say in Namibia, there's about 8 to 11 indigenous languages. Some of these languages, Oshuvambo, Herero, Kwekokobab. I know Kwekokobab Damaranama a little bit. I haven't spoken it to anyone in a very long time. There's also Rikovango, Setswana, and German and English and Afrikaans. These are some of the indigenous languages that you have in Namibia. And these Namibia has somewhat, shaped who I am as a person, as an adult. Now, in 2016, I moved from Namibia to South Africa to live with my parents, who are becoming a little bit older and they need assistance. Now, my parents they are South African. My mother is a Zulu and my father is a Xhosa. And just a little bit of an interesting story on this. As a child, I never knew that isiZulu and isiXhosa are two different languages. To me, they sounded like the same thing. And I could never understand why some of my cousins always told me that I have to speak in isiZulu to them when I spoke to them. It was only until much later in my life that I realized that these are actually two different languages. All right. Let's see. So after moving to South Africa, I realized that I have this really broad sense of diversity between these two countries, between Namibia and South Africa. Yes, so after moving to South Africa, I also started realizing that, that the cultures are the past of these countries and colonialism and this. It has created a very deep separation between people. And even though at this present time, both these countries are celebrating decades of independence from colonialism, we are still very much separated because of the systems that were implemented, right? And this is why a project like what Xavier is doing is so important to help us, to overcome these barriers of separation. Now, before I go ahead, I just want to share a singular experience from a past of my life. When I was in high school, I wasn't very bright with mathematics. And I remember my mathematics teacher one day saying to me that I will never succeed in life because I am failing mathematics. And because of what this teacher said to me, I equated that to mean that I could never pursue an education past high school because I am failing at maths. And that somehow meant to me, if I try to pursue an education past high school, that I would just fail at that. And these words of this teacher followed me like for 22 years of my life. This cycle of these words were only broken 3 years ago when an older sister of mine registered with an online university, and she said to me, you know what I am doing right now is not that difficult, you should give it a try. Where somebody who was placed in a position of power and authority over young minds spoke something to me that kept me from realizing my full potential for the time period of 22 years, right? And I am not trying to vilify this teacher. The only reason why I am sharing this is to illustrate the power of words, the power of communication. When you speak something, especially to a younger person, how impressionable the young mind is. You see, what I learned is criticism can either be constructive or it can be destructive. And in my case, I learned what was said to me when I was in high school was had a very destructive influence, right? And with that, I just want to say that in this space where we are in a studio mass and what we are trying to achieve with bridging, this global living in, we are responsible. We are responsible to foster, relationships where we motivate and we reinforce positivity. Whenever we give criticism, we should make sure that our criticism is constructive, that it is building. Now, Studio Mars is the first organization that I have joined where I have worked in, been involved in working in building international relations with people from other countries. This opportunity is helping me to broaden my perspective, develop a cultural awareness, and enhance my communication skills in a diverse global environment. It is also allowing me to learn how to navigate different cultural contexts, building meaningful connections, and contributing to fostering mutual understanding across borders. Additionally, this opportunity is giving me the opportunity to sharpen my skills and to be part of this great collaboration. As I look at things that are happening around me, I realize that We are living in a world that is increasingly becoming polarized. We are living in a world that is, there's somewhat a line being drawn, and we are being forced to choose on which side we must stand. And I just feel that it is very important for us to fight these divisions. We need to fight these divisions by fostering open dialogue, by being empathetic and understanding. It is essential to build bridges instead of divisions. We need to recognize that our differences should enrich us. They should not divide us. By actively engaging in conversation that seek common ground and promote respect for diverse perspectives, we can work toward creating more inclusive and united societies. Now more than ever, we have the responsibility to challenge the forces of polarization and stand for unity and collaboration and peace in our interactions with each other. I feel a tremendous amount of pride and excitement to be part of Estudio Mas in this auspicious endeavor of bridging this global village that we are part of in meaningful international connections. It is a rare and rewarding opportunity for me to contribute in this initiative that promotes cultural exchange, understanding, and collaboration across borders. Being involved in this mission allows me to play a small role in fostering relationships that transcend global boundaries, creating opportunities for mutual growth and learning. This experience fills me with hope and optimism as we work together to build a more interconnected and united global community. Thank you so much for the opportunity.